one of the things also that since whenever you get drawings for the prototype, you want to check the dimensions because sometimes, well, most of the times the prototypes they draw like sheetrock and everything, and those dimensions are kind of weird. If you keep them, those like it might have like an eighth of an inch or 16ths or 17 16ths or whatever. Like in this case is 12 and an 8. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to have like weird dimensions. You want to have like when round it up to an inch or to a foot or whatever. So in this case it'll be 12 feet. Just offset it. And just adjust that dimension in there, or just adjust that wall there. Like I said, you don't want to have like eighths of an inch or stuff like that. So the prototype is just a guide. So you're gonna have to figure out like if they say, if the prototype says that they want something clear, then you're gonna have to figure out all the sheetrock that you're gonna put, and it depends on what kind of structure you're using or whatever. But you want to draw to the stud. You don't want to draw to the sheetrock. A lot of people do that, which that's totally wrong, because in the field you're not gonna be measuring to the sheetrock or to the finish. Whoever is doing the framework and stuff like that, they're the first thing they're gonna do, they're gonna and snap a line on the foundation, and that's where they're gonna put the stud, either the wood stud or the metal studs. But nobody's gonna imagine all those walls is trying to figure out all those dimensions of the sheetrock. That's totally wrong. I know a lot of architects, they do that because they just get the prototype, and then they just print it out like that, or they don't adjust it to work with studs. So a lot of the times they have a lot of dimensions problems in the field, or sometimes they don't even dimension the walls, they just dimension the center of the wall, and that makes harder, that makes the contractor to be able to make a mistake, like they expect all the framers to start dimensioning to that center of the stud, and then calculate where's the center, and move the wall here and there. But the right way to dimension, you dimension to one side of the stud all the time, of the stud, not of the wall, not of the finished wall, but of the stud. Now if you have a certain um, if you have like let's say a guest room that needs to be 12 feet wide, well, figure out what are you gonna put in that room. Are you gonna put two layers of sheetrocks, or one layer of sheetrock of 5/8, and half-inch resilient channel one side, and then on the other side of the wall is just 5/8. Then figure out all of that, but don't dimension the wall like, again, to be like half an inch, or half an inch is okay, but like a quarter an inch, or 7/16 or whatever. Just move the wall, just give it a little bit more. It's not gonna hurt them, and it's gonna make life easier for whoever is dimensioning in the job site. So if you're gonna have a 12-foot clear, and more or less, that with sheetrock and everything, it's gonna take uh, maybe like 3 inches. Well, make sure you dimension the wall 3 inches bigger than what it needs to be. But yeah, that's one of the things that I see a lot of architects do. Like, and I'm not talking about like architect. Maybe it's just the drafters that nobody taught them or whatever, and or maybe they have a lot of work or whatever it is, but they just put the prototype, and the prototype is just a guide. And the prototype, they sometimes put all the layers of the sheetrock, so the wall might not be exactly where it needs to be. So once again, when you're gonna dimension to the stud. That's the right way to do it. A lot of people do it dimension to the finish, but once again, put yourself in that condition. Are you gonna be able to figure all of that? Are you gonna have a calculator next to you, or you're gonna be adding and subtracting how many inches or how many layers and stuff like that you're gonna put? No, of course not. So that's why you always have to dimension to the stud, or to the structure.